All right. Welcome to the podcast. You've reached the Couch Man podcast, where we journey through geekness. Today, we're going to be reviewing Monster Hunter, the movie, because, I thought it might be good. And, it's the quality is questionable. With me today, I have Void Cat.
What's up? I'm back.
All right. DocFalconer is also in the seat.
Hi. Thank you. Good.
Rock on. I got Craig's R the Wolf over here. caravaggiosWolf. In my head, yeah, never mind. We don't have to go through that again.
I'm just going to go with Steven. Hey, everybody.
Steven. We got Steven with us. Illustrator extraordinaire. And then we also have Emjay on camera for the first time.
Great salutations. How you doing?
Really good. All right. Today we're going to be reviewing Monster Hunter. We have Monster Hunter is a movie about several Call of Duty action figures being thrown through the television set into the world of Monster Hunter. They don't know what's going on, but they don't have to worry for too long, if you know what I mean. And then the last part of it is lots of fighting, which is dumb, and I should have loved it, but I want to talk about Into the Lost Lands way more. Void Cat.
Stay on target.
Okay. No, yeah, that's a pretty accurate description of the whole movie. Here, I made some really low effort memes for all of you guys. Can you pull up the Mila one? First of all, I have to say, I did not remember a single character's name throughout this movie.
Real quickly, Mila one. Can you describe, I can't read it while it's on the...
They're in order.
Okay, bam.
So this is an isekai. This movie is an isekai. How I was transported to a world full of monsters and lost my team immediately after we all started shooting at a guy who was warning us with a warning shot that was obviously not supposed to hit us. The movie starts with just like a pre-title scene that's basically like Pirates of the Caribbean but on sand, with a kraken that is a dune worm that is also like a pterosaurus with like way too long limbs. I don't know how that thing is getting around under the sand with that shit.
It's a T-Rex that can finally do push-ups.
It's
all
very
T-Rexes
strong.
want to be able to do push-ups. Come on.
Yeah. And then it jumps to Mila and her team, and her team will not last because this is a Mila movie, and we don't need them. We don't need them.
Surprised me. I thought they were gonna. They did a good job tricking me, because each one really did have a personality. So I was like, oh,
yeah. The actors did a great job for the script that they were given. I gotta say, I expected it to be a really bad movie, and it was. But I think it's the kind of bad movie that you can really enjoy drinking a bunch with your friends and watching and making fun of. You said you didn't like the action, and I think I know why. US action already kind of is marred by too many fast cuts. Like, if you listen to any interviews with Jackie Chan, he talks about how, like, in his, you show the hit twice. And in the US, sometimes you don't even show the hit at all.
You see all the beef leading up to the hit.
Had, like, 3 cuts where normal action movies only have 2. Like, it had so many cuts. Too many cuts. The montages even were, like, cut really fast and interspersed. So, yeah, that's my big feeling about it. You can watch it with your friends and get really drunk and have a really great time. It can be a good bad movie. But
it's bad action if every time the hero throws a punch, there's a cut. Like, and that's all Mila's fights. Even though, like, I think
sometimes it was like the medium shot, and then it cut to like just their hands, and then it cut back to the medium shot. I'm like, we did not need that.
You don't need it for Tony Jaa, at least. But yeah, Mila, I guess. Yeah, I like she's been good at action and other things. Doc, what'd you think of the movie?
Oh man, it's so bad, Keith. I honestly don't understand why we had to watch this. I'm a little upset with you. But if I was gonna like really quickly put it into words,
I'm upset with you.
This I don't like, have any of us played the game? Like,
no.
And
I do have a thought specifically about that. Okay, so no, please, Boyd, go ahead.
The one thing that this movie succeeded in for me is that, like, there's a couple of shots of Tony Jaa, like, using, explosive arrowheads or, like, whatever. And it made me want to actually play the game because I really like games that have that kind of combat. So I was like, if this is an ad for the game, it has succeeded. I now want to play Monster Hunter. It makes me think of Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a game I love. but that's about it.
Yeah.
Aren't all video games
go on.
overlong commercials for the video games? I mean,
Yes.
seriously.
Should be.
But really, so basically in the game, I've played it a little bit, and you are fighting one monster forever, and it seemingly never takes damage. So basically, the way I look at it, the movie is just like the game. It's glacially paced and tedious with like a little bit of fun at the end.
Damn. All right. And then Steve, what'd you think?
Steven, please.
Steven, what'd you think? The PH.
It's a guilty pleasure. This is absolute schlock, but it's a lot of fun. I've probably
MJ.
watched it 3 or 4 times.
Nice.
You have or will?
Like recently, or like over the last 5 years, or
Over the last 5 years. I went back and watched it again a couple of nights ago just to refresh my memory. And I am reminded of just how bad it is, but there are glimmers of hope within there. I'll touch on those.
They're here and there. That kind of makes you realize what we could have had.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
we introduce Ian into the Lost Lands.
MJ,
what'd you think?
That one.
All right, I'm going to be a little weird here and say I actually enjoyed it. Yes, it was pure schlock.
I'm
like
the
everyone
guy who
else is
usually
saying.
does this.
Mm-hmm.
But
Somebody's got to do
the
it.
thing is, it's a Paul W.S. Anderson movie. You have to expect certain things with Paul W.S. Anderson. He exists in that little mid-tier between Michael Bay and Uwe Boll. So you just have to expect a Paul W.S. Anderson movie when you get it. I mean,
Uwe Boll, you're too far, man.
he's
too far.
No, well, that's why I say he's above
not
Uwe
bad.
Boll. He's above Uwe Boll. I mean,
Okay.
Anderson and Boll both love to do video game movies, but if you want like highbrow video game movies, you go to Anderson. If you want complete, utter, kill me Ed Wood crap, go to Uwe Boll.
Okay.
So it's not that bad. But anyway, back to the movie. Yeah, I mean, I've never played the game, but you know, it was fun. And it was Mila being Mila for 90 minutes. It got through. It got a little jaunty with the pacing and the editing, which is pretty typical for Anderson movies.
Okay.
And for the love of God, if he could lay off the crash zooms, I'd be happy.
Right?
The guy is drunk on crash zooms.
Crash zoom, happy.
Another thing that they did a bunch of was just like those, like, you don't realize that the huge thing is there until you're right next to it. Like they did it with the ribs and they did it with the like forest, where it's just like they're like when they're 50 feet away and you're like, you would have seen that coming. That giant tree, I think you would have seen over the horizon. Like,
So, like, usually, like, I love
the thing I'll give Anderson is he's consistent. Whether it's been Mortal Kombat, Event Horizon, Soldier, all the Resident Evil movies he's directed, the guy's consistent. He's there to have fun. He wants whoever's watching it to have fun. He wants his cast to obviously be having fun. And this movie was that. It must have been fun to make. It was a good way to waste 90 minutes. Would I watch again? Not really. But, I wouldn't turn it off, and I wouldn't be mad if I was asked to watch it.
I am a huge fan of Paul W.S. Anderson. He is a part of like one of the greatest theater experiences of my entire life. There's Lord of the Rings, Mortal Kombat, and the Avengers movie, where the theater itself just ignited with like love and passion. It was amazing. So I've always been like cool with him, and I've like followed him throughout the years and stuff. So I like that's why I thought I would like this, because I like stupid schlock, and he's always fun for that. But this time, the only thing I liked was how much fun I could see everyone was having on screen. Like you could tell he provided an environment for everyone who was having a great time and wanted to treat this seriously, the stupidity seriously, which is always good to me. I loved that. But it's the action. Every time an action sequence happened, it felt like action spam this time. Like it felt more empty. Like when Mila and Tony Jaa go head to head for the first time, there's too many layers of hitting me of like, why are you guys still fighting? Like,
no, actually,
you've gone for kill shots several times where, the other person has now gone too far, just in him or her. But no, mostly her, because he had the kill shot so many times, could have and didn't. Therefore, you just start learning. Oh wait, this person doesn't want to kill me.
Yeah, this really helped her several times. Then she's like, immediate combat. And I'm like, I get that you're the head of the Rangers, but like, Actually, the fact that you're head of the Rangers should suggest that you like actually pay attention to the situation before acting.
Yeah.
Well, she's the name actor in the movie, and she's also the director's wife. So yeah, she's not.
Yeah,
gonna
it's
get
been that way.
I love those two. Exactly. Like, they keep bringing the fun. Like,
We just wanted to show off some combat, Keith.
That's all
Too
it
bad
was.
cut too fast to enjoy.
Yeah, but there was a lot
Yeah.
of shaky cam in there. I thought we were done with shaky cam, but apparently not.
No, we're
I
not.
think it's like a
I
time
mean,
thing.
like, you don't need fast cuts on Tony Jaa. He knows what he's
Truly
doing.
not. Yeah, let's just watch Tony Jaa
You
do
don't
his
need for
thing.
him, but if
Actually,
you don't have
who
another
edited
Tony
this
Jaa to
movie?
fight
Did Anderson edit this movie too, in addition to directing? Or
I doubt it.
Yeah.
He's got a writing
yeah.
credit on it, and it
Yeah.
So
shows.
much.
Ah,
I
Why?
thought it was incredibly funny. Wait, okay. I have more memes for you guys, but
good.
never mind.
Next one.
I thought it was incredibly funny how it was like Ron Perlman. He knows English because people who have known English have landed here before. Don't worry about it. He's here so he can explain things that
He
are
made a
relevant to the
study
plot
of
that people from his world would know. And also so he can have a cool one-liner in English, even though his character would do it in his own language.
Hmm.
yeah, did you actually hear him speak in the New World language at all at any point? I only
Yeah,
heard him
like
speak
once.
English the entire
A
time.
little bit at the beginning because he's giving orders to his gang.
yeah,
Oh,
order
yeah.
when giving orders, but like apparently, yeah, he mostly speaks and probably thinks in English,
Yeah.
with no discernible accent.
No discernible accent.
Let's see. I think more credit that I'll give to the movie is that beginning. I didn't know those guys were gonna die. Like, I felt like at
Really?
least one of them was gonna get a tragic ending, but one by one, and then they got the jump scare got me. She did the thing where Samuel L. Jackson did in that shark movie, where she gave that badass speech. We're Rangers, and nothing's gonna go wrong today. Wah! And then
Oh my
she
gosh.
gets grabbed by the spider right away. And like, yeah, I jumped and she got her shit wrecked. And then I thought like, oh wow, okay, then at least the other guys might get away. Then a swarm of spiders, they cut away. So like I figured once they cut away, I was like, okay, I guess we come back to them, see where they. Oh my god, we come back to them. They're just thoroughly destroyed.
Everyone's
The
gone.
Girl Ranger. I did not see her dying in the movie.
That was what kind of felt awkward about it, because I mean, it starts off with that punch in the face, cold open of here's another world and ship sailing on sand for some reason. Okay, cool. And then Rangers in the desert, and we're being whisked away to another dimension, and everybody's getting killed, and now we're spiders, and now we're enemy mine analog with Tony Jaa, and it's like, okay, I get how this logically makes sense in order. But it just the way it all mashed together just felt awkward. And then they just like, oh crap, we need to have a finale to this. All right, last 15 minutes, go. And like, in addition to all the other editing issues, just the whole thing was just awkward.
Last
I think
time
I'm
we
gonna start
chatted,
liking the movie the more we talk about it.
It has like the backwards logic of like having the characters be where they need to be, but like why would Tony have stayed in that area so long when he was just trying to get back to the jungle that they clearly did in like oh, it's the Diablos had him stuck there. At the beginning, I thought there were two of them, but I guess there was only one.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he needed Mila's help.
yeah, it had its one of its horns blown off, so you know it's the same one the whole time. But yeah,
this film
like the
plays
item
like
gathering
a
they
kid playing in their toy box.
It does. You're so right.
I've got
it's a toy box.
action figures. Oh, look, I've got soldiers. Okay, here's some monsters. Let's put it all together. And
I
there's
was
these
thinking, this felt
moments
like-
of maturity. Like when you get introduced and she says, "Saddle up, ladies." It's like, oh, she's a ranger. She's a badass. And she knows the culture. Mad respect. Good writing. And then it's followed up with a couple of the crew saying, wow, even as a woman, she says that. It's intimidating.
And it's
or it's
still
insulting.
insulting.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Right. And
I
they
wrote that
talk
down
down
like,
to the audience.
excuse
Like,
you.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
It's like, just edit that out.
why is
And,
why can't
and
we
then
have?
we get to.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's all right. We start with this strange fantasy video game thing with a ship on sand. Okay, that's cool. We got monsters. And then we cut to the middle of the desert with soldiers. It's like, all right. And then we cut to a crazy spider arachnophobia horror movie. And I'm like, this is literally someone just pulling stuff out of their toy chests and throwing it in there saying, wow, wouldn't this be cool?
Like a few friends did an impromptu D&D session and like,
Yes.
this is what happened next, this is what happened next, and just having fun goofing at each other. Which,
Right.
And then end it all with a big homage to the Dark Tower from Stephen King.
Fight dragons,
Right.
fight dragons, fight dragons.
Somebody else, please tell me that they saw that.
Yes.
How they're
Yeah.
kind of hinting at that. Like, okay, is Roland the Gunslinger going to come swinging in from the side and going, I'll take down? And then the Man in Black in the mid-credit scene looking down on the cat character. Like, yeah, okay, they're totally going for Dark Tower here. The big tower in the middle of nowhere. It's an interdimensional rift with a Man in Black standing on top and people journeying towards the tower.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know that might be giving the movie more credit than it's due, but
Also, it is kind of like the yes, but a typical fantasy thing.
The big dark tower with a Man in Black.
A big dark tower with a wizard at the top commanding dragons.
Was
I
there a
would say
wizard?
you first, Matt.
Oh,
There's a
thanks.
mask, like
What?
cloaked guy.
Oh, there was? I didn't even see him. I didn't see that at all.
He was
I
in
don't
like 2
remember.
shots.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
It was a mid-credit scene. Yeah.
But I would say
Well,
Paul W. Anderson's enough at
Oh.
work that he would actually do that on purpose.
Yeah.
The sequel.
But so, like, we have
mid-credits
all this
sequence.
insane stuff happening, right? But I mean, why can't we just care about a single character? Why can't we have a good relationship throughout this entire movie? Like
What do
the
you mean?
entire,
It's Mila and Tony.
I
yeah.
cared
Look
about
at
those
them.
soldiers who
Do
got
they-
killed.
We just naturally
Do they have
care
names?
about them.
She does, Artemis,
yeah,
which I thought was funny because
Natalie-
Artemis is like the
Artemis?
hunting, the
Yeah,
hunting
Ranger.
goddess. You know,
I wonder if Ranger is a class in the game. I bet it is. Ranger Hunter. You know what I mean? Like I
Is it?
imagine
I'd have to
beats
play it.
me. Yeah, but it's just like their entire backstories were like in a ring and 2 little like representations of his family, the 2 little family dolls, and that was
No
it. That's,
backstory necessary. We're playing with dolls here.
He didn't have
Literally
enough time to write
and
down his
figuratively,
backstory. I just have my
Man,
stats.
I can't take Tony's like while I'm looking at this picture. I can't take Tony's giant sword seriously because it looks like a cosplay prop.
it absolutely.
They look like props in the movie.
Yeah, they
None
look
of
like
them
cosplay
had.
props.
Mhm. Well, I guess the only way
Yeah.
to take down a monster is to dress yourself as a monster, right? Like, I guess like that it seems like they're basically impervious to bullets. So the only thing that will break them is monster bone.
I do think it's
Right.
funny that the Diabolos killing was just like basically doing like this with a sword,
Oh,
just like
I,
the hammer and pick thing.
Diablo killing did something that is from the game that always breaks my heart a little bit. As you're beating the monster down, you do see a little bit of a fear before it's going to die. Like you see the monster scared a little bit as it tries to run away from you. And then like as she was pounding the blade down into its head, there was a flash to its face like, oh shit, this is happening. And then
The pupil, yeah.
Right. That's why I stopped playing the game, is because the monsters spend most of their time running from you. And at a certain point, that's not fun anymore. I just started feeling bad. If I'm feeling bad for the thing I'm trying to kill, I don't want to kill it.
Yep.
Well, what I find funny is if they took the time to actually show fear on the monster's face, if it like did like a psychic projection into Artemis's head and saying, "No, don't kill me. I have to get back to my family. I'm just trying to feed my family and bring their bodies back as food. Don't kill me.
To find food in
Get
a
that
desert.
blade out
Come
of my
on.
brain." Yeah.
Oh my God.
The only thing to eat out here is giant spiders. Oh, you know what moment of acting I found tremendously cool though was after Mila sees like she rescues that one guy and then he's like screaming in pain and then like the sorry to anybody who's arachnophobic, don't watch this movie. Like the baby spiders burst out of his boils. So then when she gets into the like sunlight, the first thing she does is like, holy shit, check her whole body to make sure she's not infected with any of that.
Thank
Like,
God for plot armor.
Right? She's got so much plot armor.
yeah,
Obviously,
everybody else in those sacks was dead, but she just
utter dead, but no problem. Didn't lay their eggs in her. You know, they just hadn't quite gotten to her yet, you know, and she's mostly immune to the spider poison.
yeah, because spiders definitely wrap you up in cocoons without poisoning you. That happens.
Just leave you alone if you're a Mila.
That's just it.
She's too hot. They're like, never
Too
mind.
hot. Like, whoa.
I don't want to ruin this
They
one.
needed the rest of the movie to happen. That's why.
Yep. That's plot
And
armor
for those
you.
wondering, Doobie White is the name of the editor of this movie, who also edited Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. So
He's just part of the Jovovich Anderson team now.
I'm just wondering if Doobie's his birth name.
We're all wondering that now. MJ.
I don't know what VW van his parents rolled out of, but good lord. But yeah.
That makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it all comes together. This looks like it was edited by somebody named Doobie.
Also, the reason why I picked this was because it was going to be possibly bad, and then like when we were doing the Star Trek podcast, we found that like stuff that was more flawed was more fun to talk about.
That's 100% correct. Yep.
Yeah, and you get more about like what do you like about movies and stuff. I'll say about this though, like I felt like there wasn't much to it, so that's another part that I couldn't get into. Into the Lost Lands had meat to it that I could talk about. The empty vessels of these two characters, they're
They
great.
did manage to give themselves a lot
accurate.
of personality for characters that have no personality, though. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did like
I love
the,
them both, but here, like I felt nothing, and like I really wanted to because I love the dumbness and their awesome costumes, and I even like it when weapons look like toys. Like, well, let's have fun. But
it's a good way to lower your expectations before going to this movie, Keith. Watch all of the Resident Evil movies. I've only seen the first and the third one before.
cold.
So I plowed through all 6 leading up to this.
Why did you do that to yourself?
MJ, no.
I've explained this before. When
they get pretty bad, man.
When Keith tasked me with what we're going to be doing for a subject for podcasts, my OCD goes into overdrive and I go into total immersion for the subject.
Enough.
So
Absorb mode.
I did all Paul W.S. Anderson's movies.
Oh, yeah.
All of them. And I regret it. I regret it.
You regret it. I'm so sorry to hear that. Because like I said, I do love the guy.
The guy had a movie before Mortal Kombat, even. Go figure.
What was that?
Hey. Well,
stay on target.
Stay on target.
I am.
Oh yeah. Yep.
He's on target. This is
Keith is not. He's starting to travel, and I'm stopping him early. Stephen, what were you going to say earlier, Stephen?
Excuse me. Film's a little bit interesting in the fact that it has very distinct beginning, middle, and end. 3-act story structure. Introduce the characters. They go to that crazy horror movie spider thing, and then suddenly you've got these 2 fish out of water developing a relationship. I actually thought the film was at its strongest when they were interacting, though it ran way too long. And there were moments there. There's moments throughout the film where like, wow, this would be really cool, and then it's not. I don't know, maybe it's like when you're playing with your kid and you're trying to take it serious and you're like, hey, wouldn't this be really neat? And he's like, no, I don't like spiders. Bring in the spiders. What?
Yeah.
They love those spiders so much. I had a little respect for that because, like, I think because they spent so much time probably building those sets and designing and animating them, like this, we're going to save some money right here to keep processing these guys, and like the mechanics of like the scabs on top of like the surface that burst open at night. That was dope. What
did she do with that part of the spider she peeled off? Is that like, is poison? The armor she's wearing later on supposed to be that? No, not when they took the thing. There's a part where she like peels off a whole carapace piece.
Oh. She used it to carry Tony Jaa across the desert.
Okay. Yeah. That's right. That's
when he was injured. Yeah. Of course, was I the only one who was impressed by the CGI for this? I mean, this budget for this movie was only $60 million.
No, I was. The CGI was really
pretty good.
That's good.
The part of the very beginning with the ship is so clearly green screen.
Yeah, that's that.
They didn't like really merge the actors in the background very well. Like, but aside from that, yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, agreed.
The monsters were dope. The dragons were dope.
Yeah, yes. And I figured that might have been due to the fact that Toho was involved with the production of this because
they don't have a monster.
Yeah, and just a year later, they came out with Godzilla -1, and they have shown time and time again that they're heavy
What a
hitters with
tremendous movie.
I think
pretty
this is
limited budgets.
first time I've seen a Japanese, U.S., Chinese production.
Yeah, Tencent involved as well. Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, that was a pretty
Filmed in
combination.
Canada and South Africa and Namibia.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
All over.
It is an international production.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, going back to the CG really quick. Yeah, I thought it was actually decent, and I really liked the facial expressions on the Rathalos, the big dragon at the end.
Mhm.
That was phenomenal. And the I'm sure we're going to get to this anyway, but the Palico, the Catman. I wanted more Palico.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
We had several Catmen even.
Who's
the
that
way
cheesy actor
Wait, don't
that
you guys
shows
have
up
cats
in
where you're from?
everything?
Well, the way Mila was winking back at Palico, I'm sure there was going to be a whole Palico Artemis thing in the sequel. So
No, she's Artemis. Artemis is famously a sexless god. Okay.
Everybody knows that.
not in Paul W.S. Anderson's world. though.
Who's the actor, the big guy with the axe at the end that's really not a big guy?
Oh, Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
Yeah, Ron Perlman. So, what? They're
Hellboy?
friends with Ron Perlman? He needed a job? Why is he in that?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
he looks
the
like the
captain
character.
of the ship from the beginning.
Yeah, but
I did when he
I don't-
started talking English. I assumed that his backstory was going to be that he was from our world and he had also like been isekai'd. But no, apparently somebody
Yeah, that's
whatever.
what I thought was going to
they
happen.
could
Right.
have so
Which
easily
was-
fixed that weirdness. But
Yeah, it was absolutely pointless. And then, like, by the third act, suddenly we're in some kind of Dungeons and Dragons adventure going to the Dark Tower.
can I show you guys the rest of my memes because I think they're relevant to this
Yeah,
part of
let's
the
meme it up.
conversation, kind of. Okay,
Yes.
so here's the second one. So the whole movie is like a Mila isekai, and then they're like, "JK, she's in her world now." And then right when it's that moment in every action movie where everything's going bad, and you're like, "Oh no, the hero won't succeed," and then like the ally shows up. He followed her in, right? So now it's his isekai. He followed a strange warrior back into her own world. Now he's the mysterious fighter from
Nice.
another world. But then, joke's on us, a new dragon shows up. It's actually the dragon isekai, which I wrote in dragon language here for you.
My story now.
And then at the very end, just because he's a famous actor and we love him in Hellboy, I guess they couldn't waste him. Then Ron Perlman, have no fear, for I am here.
Yes.
All-nighting just out of nowhere, just to be like, hey, I'm here for the sequel. I think there's going to be a sequel, maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah, no, there's
And
gonna.
then we
I
got
think,
sequel bait in the.
oh, big time sequel.
So yeah.
sequel
Ron
would have
Perlman
been
is very
awesome.
much just like, and we paid for the super big actor that you guys have, so we needed to put him in more.
Yeah.
Yay!
He was probably missing monster hunting since he didn't do the previous Hellboy right before that. But Mila was in that one, so she was the only good thing about that Hellboy, by the way.
Wait, there was a Hellboy
Was
with
there a Hellboy?
no Ron Perlman.
Hey, guys,
and
guys,
Oh, there's been
guys,
two
guys,
Hellboys without Ron
guys.
Perlman.
So we're staying on
Stay
target.
on target. Okay, sorry.
Oh, there
Over
it is.
here, the first movie that the guy did was Soldier, and that was crap. And anyway,
Yeah,
That
so
was the
Ron
thing that-
Perlman is a big name that they had to add more, I guess. I don't know here.
more Ron Perlman. So really quickly, but the ending. More goodness about the movie that I didn't like that much. The ending, God, wow. So have you guys ever seen the movie called The Descent?
Yeah.
I love The Descent. It's fucking
I almost feel like that was almost like that, where there's
the
like
no
this
ending
shot-
ending.
Yeah, there's like this shot where it goes into her eyes, and maybe she's still down there, or you can decide however you want. It was, and I thought it was a dream where she like got onto that plane and she was like, all right, she's being whisked away, and they're like, you're gonna be okay. And then like it explodes open, the guy rips out, and the dragon's right there. Wow! And then like I was waiting for like the shirt to go and wake up, and it just kept on going. And I was like, oh, we're here, we're still doing this, and yeah, a lot of credit for that because.
Mhm.
I thought we really did reach the end of the movie, and it was gonna be a cheap, wacky ending. I was like, and then like she's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that happened," and we go into sunset, whatever. But no, Dragon's like still not done, and then they went all hard into the other dimension to do an action pose for a game cover, which
That was
usually I
Keith.
like.
Buster Sword.
For the sequel.
Absolutely.
Oh,
It
it
is.
is here.
Yeah, it's sequel
It's in
bait.
production.
sequel.
It is in production, but
What?
yeah,
No.
Monster Hunter 2 is in production. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Another
Lies.
way to describe
Well,
the bad. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I mean, that's basically it. I will really quickly say that, yeah, Keith, that ending, the part you're describing, like that was my favorite part of the movie by far. That's when I finally started caring, when the dragon was in
The last 15 minutes.
the last 15 minutes.
Okay.
That's when I finally got invested.
I'll say on to what I was about to say. It goes to that. The problem with the action is the South Park critique that they say. When you do a story, it should be the next beat is and then or but versus or what was it? You guys
It's
know what I'm talking about?
rather than this happens and this happens and this happens,
And
it's
then.
this happens, therefore this happens.
Thank you.
Or yeah.
And yeah, like a lot of the action was just and then. But yeah, right after that monster attack on the plane, I started seeing therefores, and the actions took more substantial until we got to the silly, goofy ending that usually I love. But then it was just like she spins around and slashes her sword. She jumps and slashes her sword, which is, and then she does this, and then not because of an action, but it's just action spam.
They needed a really, contemporary pop song to play with the three of them going back in there.
You're right. That would have really brought it
As they
home.
walk back into the storm.
Highway to Hell, something like that.
Or they could have gone full 80s and just made a song for the movie. Yeah.
They should have.
Fine, that's back in style, you know?
I want to see it. I want to see more of it. But also, like, yeah, the fact that she turns around, like, we got to go back. Well, it's interesting, like, her, I think, objective the entire time was to get back into the real world. She keeps looking at the ring, gotta go get back to my partner, family, whatever, and then gets back into the real world, and then immediately is like, no, I'm going back into the monster world. Forget the whole movie.
Because she has a mission now. She
Yeah,
has
she
to
does have a
destroy the
family.
tower. She has to destroy the rift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did say it earlier, but there's like hints to their backstory, but like nothing's done with any of it.
Yep.
It's for the sequel. Come on. Just like anybody telling me that anybody on Earth had no idea that there were all these monoliths randomly out in the middle of the desert that could whisk you away to another dimension. I mean, Artemis's ranger team couldn't have been the first one to encounter it. And other entities around Earth must have been somewhat aware of it somewhere.
There's kind of like an implication that it used to be connected kind of like up until the medieval ages, and then like the worlds were no longer connected, and now they have just become connected again. To which I have two things to say. One, first of all, how the fuck does Ron Perlman know English then? But secondarily, and this is not from the movie, but probably from the game, but I did enjoy how a lot of the creatures were designed in a way that suggested like similarities to dinosaurs. So like the idea that the dinosaurs were actually just creatures from the other world that inhabited ours back when we were still connected, and that they just continued to evolve over on their side.
That's fair.
I like that idea.
Actually, just really quick, one of the quotes from this movie is when they come up on those big bones, one of the guys says, "I saw a dinosaur in a museum one time." It's like, one time?
What?
It wasn't that
You've only
big.
gone to the museum, to a natural history museum, like once in your life, buddy.
Once in his life. That's the only time he ever saw it. It's like, oh, come on.
I was wondering why I have
interesting
that
also-
note. Because I have that note. There's a note that says, I saw a dinosaur in a museum one time. It wasn't that big. I was like, why did I say that? Oh, it was quoting from the movie.
Oh, it's what the script said. Crap.
What point am I making?
Another thing about that is that there are bones that big that you will see in natural history museums. A lot less scary. They're whale bones.
There was a shot from the point of view of like they escaped the spider pit. You guys remember this shot? Like it had me on the edge of my seat because I'm waiting for like pincers to pull them down, but like right after they get right out of the pit, they just kind of chill out there and start like talking about like chocolate and giggling at each other. And like the camera is like from the point of view of the pit, like there's no music playing. You're like, can you get away from the pit for a second? Like stop giggling and go way away. And they're like, no, some chocolate. And it's like, and like the
Just
scene ends.
a spider out of frame. I did think it was funny also that just like it felt like like Hershey's paid for that, right?
Yes.
And I know it's off topic for 1 second. It's fine. I was raised in Canada on Swiss chocolate because my grandfather would go to Switzerland and then bring us chocolate back. And then when I was like 11, I was at a ballet school with a vending machine that only had Hershey's chocolate, and I was complaining about it because I don't know if you guys know this, but Hershey's chocolate is not good chocolate.
Snap.
Oh, snap. And one person told me that I didn't know anything about chocolate because I thought Hershey's was gross, and I've been offended about Hershey's ever since. So whenever there's a scene where they're like, oh, chocolate is so good, and they're eating Hershey's, I'm like,
Fuck Hershey's.
all right. Hershey's paid for this.
limited sampling set. Don't be a hater.
He's like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten. I'm like, yeah, try literally any other chocolate.
Any other chocolate. It's gonna blow your mind, Tony Jaa. It's gonna blow
Poor Tony Jaa doesn't get to stay in our universe long enough to have real chocolate.
Yeah. Oh, it's so sad. That's the saddest part of this movie, honestly.
It is the saddest part of this
movie. Well, I think I noticed that too, Keith, but I think it's just because I think at that point we'd already established, right, that the spiders don't like the sun. Right. And
yeah, because there's a scene where they try to chase her out when she first escapes.
Yeah, I like they're so close to it though that like all it had to do was like just like close its eyes and reach out and
think that was deliberate, like a way to kind of build tension.
I wondered because, like I said, they could have put that camera anywhere, but they put it from the point of view of where a spider would be like waiting, and you're like,
yeah, but that was just in their hangout montage anyway, so like I don't think there was really tension in that.
Fair, then. Right. There was another scene, sorry, really quick, where when Milla Jovovich is climbing out of the hole, and at that point, I wrote down, if Tony Jaa sticks his hand down and pulls her out, I'm turning this movie off.
But he did.
But he didn't.
What else is going to happen? Yeah. That needs to happen.
But it didn't. It didn't happen. She climbed out herself. Yeah, that was the scene where she climbed out. Yeah, I think she helped him from the.
No. Right, so there's the one time she climbs out by herself. That's when she first wakes up in the spiders, and then later on they duel for no reason, because she automatically fights, and he just like fights back instead of being like, "Girl, I saved you like 3 times already." And then they fight until he knocks her into. She knocks him. Somebody knocks somebody into one of the like things, and then they just slide down, and all the spiders are like, "Oh, food!" And then they're like, "Oops." Yeah, my bad. Maybe we should stop fighting out on top of where all the spiders live.
I like how we're forgetting so many of the specific details of this movie because we're already trying to move on. We've already missed this movie.
Movie's
it's a fantastic movie.
How many of us saw Into the Lost Lands? Do you guys watch that yet?
Sorry, no.
I did.
Steven, did you see it?
I've watched it twice now. Boy, is that bad. But I loved it.
So bad you watched it twice. Let's unpack that for a moment there.
I would have thought. All right. I could gush.
Hey, there are plenty of action movies that are terrible and also fun to rewatch over and over.
That's a fact.
I'll set the bat for good writing on Into the Lost Lands. I will set the bat for good writing, even for a Paul W.S. Anderson movie. They closed theme loops. It was the world building, the action. There was no spam. I went in like. Yeah,
that's what happens when you adapt a George R.R. Martin's short story into a movie.
That's what I kept on thinking.
You have somewhat competent story structure to work off of instead of just pulling it randomly out of your backside like Paul usually does.
Mm-hmm. I actually read the short
at the end of the movie, I was like, why did that seem like it was well written for Paul? And then it said George R.R. Martin. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. I'm glad they worked together.
The biggest problem for Into the Lost Lands was, again, editing and pacing. It just... I don't know why Anderson can't find a decent editor or find somebody who can check him a little better, because Dave Bautista isn't that bad of an actor. I know, Steven, you are definitely on the go back to wrestling train when it comes to Bautista, but if you've ever seen Blade Runner 2049, especially the shorts that came out before 2049, Bautista isn't that bad, and I thought he was decent in The Lost Lands. And it was the relationship between him and Gray Alice that I couldn't buy into. Just him and Mila had like no chemistry together whatsoever. It was like, okay, we're in a movie and we have a script, and you say this to me and you say it to me. Good, yeah, okay, moving on. I didn't feel it.
More like they were just goofing around.
That's the chemistry I liked.
Performance.
You liked it? Okay.
Yeah, like it was goofing. I could tell they're having legitimate fun together, and they seem to actually like each other as people and friends. Like. The fun that I saw them having together on screen was so enjoyable. I expected nothing, but they kept on bringing it, and they had fun, and then like it was like schlocky trash, but like everyone was in on it.
I think we're going to see a lot more of this because for the majority of the film, it's just filmed with green screen, and with the advancements in AI,
it's going to get wild.
Part of the reason I love the film is it's just a concept artist's dream. If you want a post-apocalyptic movie,
beautiful.
But we've got the last city built on a factory in a mountain. And you know what? We need an abandoned nuclear power plant. Okay, cool. Ooh, how about a graveyard of ships? Yep, got it.
Can I have zombies and monsters? Whatever you want, man.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Do it. We're playing with all our dolls today.
Yes, that's exactly it.
It was so fun.
We're so far off target now.
Yes. Because there's not much else to talk about, I think. But,
no. Should we do final thoughts?
Yeah,
final thoughts about it?
Unless we have any big points that we haven't covered yet.
Yeah, before we do that, should I share my stupid thing I was talking about earlier?
I want to see all the stupid things.
I want to hear all the points that we missed.
All right, so let's see. I'm just gonna
I have other stuff I can talk about. I don't know what you mean.
Bring it.
Okay,
we have still time.
Let me see if I can work this out here.
But I expected myself to have way more to say because I like stupid stuff. But
I'll just briefly go into if you guys do ever decide to go on the Paul W.S. Anderson train, like I did,
I'm thinking about it.
Watch Death Race. Death Race was fun. If for Jason Statham movie, that was fun. Skip Pompeii unless you really want to see Gladiator cross with Titanic, because
no thanks.
Nothing I ever thought I'd see.
He did Pompeii. Holy shit!
Yeah, that was him. And
it was bad.
This Three Musketeers movie. Any movie that has to go dredging up anything Leonardo da Vinci just to justify Alexander Dumas story, skip.
Wait, I'm sorry. What? I'm going to need an explainer there, please.
Oh, what? I like that one a lot. The Three Musketeers. I feel like I didn't know that was...
I'm sorry, Three Musketeers is like 1800s France. What does Leonardo da Vinci got to do with it?
That almost deserves a podcast unto itself.
We have the technology. We can look at the trailer if we want to.
No, thank you.
Okay, fine.
I'm ready to share my thing. Okay. If anybody wants to see it.
Is it this one?
Right. Yeah, it should be.
Boop, and then bap.
All right, so this is great. So this is what I thought of when I first saw this. So this is like this is the scene when she was like captured by the spiders. And I immediately thought of this music to it. So I'm going to start it up. All right. All good. Great. And then here we go.
Oh, wait. This plays when?
Okay, pause.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of the time when you try to... It depends which browser you try to run it on, but it will not be captured. Try Firefox if you have it.
Oh, is that not working?
I heard it.
No, we can hear it, but we can't see the visual, but that's probably because you're using Chrome. Try Firefox.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can.
And if not, then...
it was worth it just for the music. That was...
let me see if I even have Firefox. I guess I do. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I guess we could try it again. I don't know. I think we get the idea. But
yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So I mean, we don't have to. Listen, if you guys want me to, I will play Bloopin again.
That's what it's called, Bloopin?
Bloopin, yeah. I heard some people call it bogcore or just frog music. But yeah, like I don't think I need to. But
okay, wait. There's a whole genre. You're telling me there's a whole genre.
Well, here's the thing. I heard people call it that on Instagram. So I don't know if it's really a genre, but I can. I'll share the link to Bloopin if anybody cares to look.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. So just next time you watch that scene in the cave, you just think about Bloopin.
Sounds like something you do while walking down the street. I'm just blooping.
Yeah, just
Hey, man. No, I'm good.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Love to hear it. That guy's blooping.
That guy's blooping.
Though,
All
to
right.
getting back on target, though, I would be happy if Paul W. Anderson started trying to use different musical scores for his movies than what Marilyn Manson established in the first Resident Evil movie, because that's been like the blueprint for the scores for his movies ever since, and it's been unrelenting. It's like, dude, change it up, please.
No.
Oh,
And you're actually playing the trailer for Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
See,
Oh my God,
the cast list is nuts for that Three Musketeers movie. It shouldn't have been
for
bad,
really
but
quickly, Ari Salvatore fans, that guy's dressed exactly like Jarlaxle, right down to the eye patch and the hat.
I
And the
mean, Mads
plume.
Mikkelsen's in it, Christoph Waltz. I mean, Ray Stevenson. Just the cast list that Anderson gets for his movies are just nuts.
I think because they know they're gonna
And-
have a good time. Like, if you go show up in that movie,
Yeah.
no one looks like they're struggling. They're like it's a party or something.
I mean, like Mads
behind the
Mikkelsen there, it looks
camera,
like
they got
he
a
signed up just because he
egg.
wanted to play a character with an eye patch. I mean, shit, I'd sign up for a movie just to be wearing an eye patch the whole time.
Really quickly, has
But-
anyone else read R.A. Salvatore and know who Jarlaxle is?
I
No.
read it a long time ago, and I don't remember any of the characters.
Steven, even you've read R.A. Salvatore.
Yeah, like a long time ago.
All right. Anyway, really quickly, there's a dark elf like who's dressed like this, and his biggest comedy thing is that he wears an eye patch, but the next time you see him, it might be on the other eye. And anyway,
No.
yeah,
Yes.
Really?
Johnny Depp,
he's one of the coolest characters
Love it.
ever.
Johnny Depp
Yeah.
used that gag for a Kevin Smith movie. That was okay. That was
Yeah,
good.
super shocking to know that Johnny Depp didn't come up with his own joke.
Makes me think of the moving mole from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh.
The sheriff, the sheriff's
Yeah.
not the mole is
Yeah.
moving around.
Any other big points to talk about in this movie? Void Cat.
I'm gonna be right back because I left my notes downstairs. I gotta check them. But while I'm there, maybe we want to do your least favorite and your most favorite moment from the movie. I'll be right back.
I like this idea. My least favorite moment from the movie would have been the action choreography against the final dragon. Like I said, I like my action. It should mean something, and like you should have therefores and whatnot. And like, yeah, it was definitely them running around on a green screen, swinging at air, which looks like lots of fun. But I didn't feel anything. It wasn't real. It didn't hit me. Steven, worst thing.
So, least favorite was Ron Perlman's exposition about the tower and how the world works and all of that. If he didn't speak English, it would have been a better film. Not to slam Ron Perlman, but to slam the writing and the directing. It's like you didn't need it. Just
I'm
didn't need to
completely
happen.
with you. I was really enjoying the fact that actually they couldn't communicate verbally.
Void Cat, what's your least favorite thing then?
My least favorite thing is the super fast editing pace. Just like the story itself kind of dragged, but like the shots were cut super fast for no reason. Like I expect that in a montage, I expect that in a fight, but sometimes it was even just like, yeah, I talked about it earlier, but it would cut from like a mid shot to a close shot back to the mid shot that it was already on, and it was like the hands were in focus both times, and I'm like, I don't need this.
Blame Doobie. Remember, blame Doobie.
Ah, Doobie.
MJ, least favorite thing.
Doobie. No, again, yeah, it's just the editing and the pacing. I mean, it could have been, it could have been a decent movie, at least somewhat tolerable to watch for 90 minutes. But yeah, the editing and the pacing were just a slog. And yeah, and Ron Perlman's expositional, hey, I just happen to be the one that knows English from the ancient tomes that were left behind from when the gateway was open from the old times. Like,
Because you definitely know how to pronounce a language that you've only seen written down.
Perfectly.
I figured it out. Yeah.
Least favorite
How
thing.
old is
Doc.
Ron Perlman's character supposed to be?
They carbon dated dirt, and they still haven't hit his age yet.
Wow.
80s version of 30.
Falconer, what do you got?
Oh, yeah. The writing. The writing and the character development. I desperately want to care about
Character
the
development.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I guess it needs to be something that was in the movie. So I'll say the writing. It was just, I just want, why is writing an afterthought of these movies with like $1 million budgets? I mean, you know what I mean? Like big budgets.
No, I do.
And it's just, the writing is an absolute afterthought. Like, why can't we have good writing? Why is that the hardest part? I don't get it.
I'm very much on the train that the script is the building block, the foundational base of a film, and you can put as much great acting and fantastic effects and great editing and great music on top of a bad script, and it won't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a foundation. Exactly right. It'll still fall
100%. Yeah, the writing. Well, we could do a whole podcast about that as well.
Absolutely.
But that's not an Anderson movie. You show up to have fun and look at the pretty lights. That's
We're
right.
banging Barbies together. Dang it!
I think that's part of it.
That's just modus operandi. That's what you do.
I think it's a time constraint thing. I think they're like, we want this movie in this amount of time. Quick, can Paul Anderson? Can you do it? He's like, yes, let's do it. And they show up and they just start filming and having fun instead of like, first we need to find somebody to write it for us, and then we'll build off that. Like, no.
Nobody shows up on an Anderson set to win an Oscar, but they just do just enough to not win a Razzie.
I don't know. The acting is pretty good. I enjoyed that anti-army song. No, the anti-army song that they sang at the beginning. You know, like they say the boots are the best, but then when you ask for size 11, they give you size 9, etc.
The boot camp chant. Yeah,
I'm absolutely with Steven here. They put in Ron Perlman for exposition, and because Ron Perlman, like, I just reread my notes, and there's a scene where I'm like, Daddy Perlman's back. I knew he would be, because he's too big of an actor for them to use at the beginning and never again. I think the movie might have been, because the plot is just it's very thin. I think it would have been fun to just never explain it. Like, we didn't need the exposition at all. Like, just, she has to go back home. It was obviously, they were obviously transported because of the storm. We saw that with the lightning strike, and, you know, the other girl on the team was like, no, that lightning definitely did something to us, like 3 times. We didn't need it that many times. You don't need to tell me the Black Tower's doing it. The Black Tower's in the middle of the storm. I saw it. My brain works. It would have been more fun if they just never had a common language, and their common language was fighting the monsters.
Yeah, fair. I suspect you could take this movie and edit out all the garbage and get it down to maybe 65 minutes, and it would be a tight, entertaining film.
Yeah.
They've got just 20 minutes of, I don't know, schlock.
Yeah, just sell it as a survival horror instead of, you know, whatever.
That's not what Doobie wanted. I don't remember
how they advertised it. It was just an isekai. Yeah.
All right.
You know, though, I bet people who really like the Monster Hunter game enjoy this movie.
I wonder if they're like, so Steven, you played it, right?
No, I haven't. I'm familiar with it, but what Doc said about you're just fighting the same monster for minutes on end is I don't like Souls type gameplay where you just fight one monster. It takes you 20 minutes, and what you're really doing is trying to figure out what the game designer had in mind for you to defeat them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a popular trope, but it's not the type of game I enjoy.
You have to realize that it'll only take damage if you hit it right before its fire attack.
Yeah,
they said
and whenever
times.
you fight something big in a video game, you're usually around its ankles, looking at its like ass and pseudo.
Trying not to get
I'm going to stop right there. Right, and I'm just like, there's nothing heroic about running around the feet of a big monster trying to kill it.
So you like Shadow of the Colossus?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
No, that's a beautiful game.
Right. Oh, so hey, the one thing I did like about this film, or the positive, I'm going to go with her opening line of "Saddle up, ladies." That for a moment it set an expectation that I was ready to be really impressed, And then a second later, it just tore it all away and said, no, this is going to be a garbage film. So put your
We
seatbelt
have
on
to
and just
be
enjoy.
specific about the feminism, the girl power.
Right. Let me explain it to you like you're 12. So, yeah, that moment was good. And then the potential, the two, Mila and Tony trying to connect and understand each other's cultures, that's always fun. There are a couple of moments in there that's done well, but the rest of it's poorly done. So those were the things that I liked. And then, hey, it's fun, mindless entertainment that's running on the background on a rainy Saturday afternoon. It's perfect.
Yeah. It's a good, like, you have 5 friends over and you guys are like ostensibly watching a movie together, but you're really just there to party.
And you don't have to pay that much attention to what's happening. You can talk during it and still have like fun.
Yeah.
So,
It would have been great for that.
I'll say that's what my favorite part of the movie is that the overall sense of like fun and not taking itself seriously. Everyone in the movie is having a good time, which is always important to me. So that fun nature and none of them seeing like they're above this, I like that. I'm becoming a bigger Mila Jovovich fan. I appreciate how much she sticks with nerdness. Like, I remember the first Resident Evil.
She could do anything she wants.
Yeah, I thought after the first Resident Evil movie, I was like, all right, that was amazing. See you later. You'll never come back to us ever again. And no, she's like sequel after sequel. And then there's like, what was that? Ultraviolet. And she just kept on nerding. And I was like, thank you. You just stay with us. And she's not ashamed of it at all. I love that.
Ultraviolet.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but once again, I love that she stays with us.
Honestly, Ultraviolet and Aeon Flux like combine in my head, and like I don't know what happens in which one.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
They're almost the same movie in my head.
They like came out around the same time. It was like it's her and
who else? Man, I can't remember what happened in that movie.
No, I know her face, but I forgot her name because my brain isn't functioning. Shit.
Scarlett Johansson.
Charlize Theron. So it's like if I was like, hey, pick a female action hero from the 90s and 2000s, you would have picked one of those two. So one of them did Aeon Flux and the other one did Ultraviolet, and they were the same movie in my brain.
Yeah, I just rewatched Ultraviolet. I didn't realize that Kurt Wimmer wrote and directed Ultraviolet. You know what else he did? Oh, Equilibrium.
Huh, that makes
I like that
sense.
one.
Yeah, the same writer and director. Like, okay, I never would have made that association.
Yeah.
3 minutes. Everybody else go. What's your favorite part of the movie? I really enjoyed actually them like trying to understand each other and just failing and giggling about it. That was really cute. I liked it.
Yeah, I like the Darmok and Jalad part of the movie. Yeah, that was good. Interaction between them.
Wait, the what? The what? The what?
Darmok and Jalad.
Enemy mine.
Darmok and
Star Trek, Doc.
Darmok and Jalad.
They were both at Tanagra. They're both
Darmok and
Tanagra.
Well, listen, all I found was like I found a gelato place. All right. I'll look up Darmok and Jalad. Gosh, darn it.
Wow, dude.
Wait.
Google that.
Hold on.
Do you Star Trek, Doc?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But it's just like I saw all of
when
TNG.
You see the picture, you'll know.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you pulling up a picture right now?
I'm pulling up a picture right now.
The antlers and tangled.
No, I mean Keith. You should,
right.
For the podcast, pull up a picture. Do it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here.
I'm just gonna make this about Star Trek for a sec.
Oh, lovely. Actually, while you're doing that, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, my favorite part was just the developing relationship between Tony Jaa and Mila Jovovich. That was super fun. And near the end when they were really pals, I liked that a lot. I thought that worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two warriors bound together by blood and not much else because we can't communicate.
Wow. Like Darmok.
Jalad.
Darmok and Gelato at Tanagra. Yes.
Oh my god, it's a 7-minute video.
Wow.
It's just like so you can see the characters and they ringing bells. They both. What's interesting about it is they both get to slap down to a planet, and the way the aliens communicating by making what his culture we see as pop culture references.
Oh, he's the same. He's the same like species as the guy in Lower Decks.
Yes.
It's always saying stuff like that.
Wait, is that
Yeah,
the
that's-
same
that's-
species?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like-
that's the Lower Decks joke, I presume.
Yeah, it is. I didn't know that what it was. I get most Lower Decks references, you guys, but
Oh,
I
wow.
did not. I did
Okay,
not
this is
get
my
that
fault.
one.
Wait, hold on. Stay on target. Turn
Yeah,
this
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Turn this out.
No, that was me.
That's my
I'm
fault.
sorry.
No,
Yep.
See you,
uh,
there, Mock.
Stay on target. Yep.
which is a Star Wars reference.
Indeed.
Oh wow!
All right. Well, do we have anything else, or we want to do final thoughts, or have we already done final thoughts? You guys think?
We can do final thought. If there's any other good points, we are hitting the hour.
You
Yeah.
did it.
All right.
Final
Final
The
thoughts.
word.
character monster design was cool. Good job
Yeah.
to the CGI artists. You did fantastic work with those models.
Production
Thank you,
design.
Toho.
Loved it a lot.
Mhm,
I love the look of the
mhm.
world and like the costumes, and I'll say like my favorite part was like her arming up. Like, you know, they went to the wreckage to find weapons and
yeah.
armor.
And he taught her how to use their weapons. The bit where he like turns the flame on and she's like, what?
That was
You have to warn someone. What is this? Delightful.
Yeah, all the weapon trying out stuff, like that's what you do in the beginning of the game. They give you weapons, you can try them out, and so like they were really mirroring what you do in the actual game.
charging him up. All right, so my final
Nice.
words on it is that I came in here wanting to love it because I love myself some Super Schlock. But there's far too much action spam that felt too empty. That like while I was watching, I was like, "This is beautiful," but I don't feel like I'm really feeling the action here. The isekai angle also not what I wanted. Like the Monster Hunter I experienced, the beauty is being in that world and exploring it, and like it blossoming before you as you find new characters and weapons, and I could tell they definitely didn't have the time and budget to make that happen. So they probably wanted to advertise to Call of Duty fans and like try to get them into the game, which I get it on a corporate level. But yeah, I can't go back to the movie. But I'll say, Paul W. Anderson, I love you, man. Keep doing weird stuff. Thank you for even if I didn't like it, I appreciate it. Voicat.
It's a good time if you turn your brain off, watch it on some substance, whatever your preferred substance is, with your friends, and enjoy yourself making fun of the silly bits. And it's a well-known fact that lightning strikes can melt sand enough to turn it into glass, by the way. Just that's a well-known fact that exists. You don't need dragon breath for that, especially when you come out of a lightning storm. It was fun. It's silly. It's not very smart. I don't love the editing, but Tony Jaa and Mila Jovovich are I can never pronounce her name right. Whatever. They're a great pair. I wish there was more plot. And to the point that Keith just made, I do like isekai does do that thing where the characters initially are like trying to get back to their own world, and then they're like, you know what, this world is pretty cool. I kind of wish we had a bit more of the exploring this world and being like, you know what, this world is pretty cool, instead of just like, I'm dying to get home, this place sucks.
Some downtime in a village
But
or
it's fun.
something. Steven.
It's a fun schlocky movie. If you don't know what you're getting into it, definitely watch it with friends. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
I cannot write.
I wouldn't pay for it, but if it's free for streaming, definitely partake and enjoy. Do not. It knows what it is.
M to the J.
I agree with Steven. It's very self-aware of what it is. It's a Paul W.S. Anderson movie. That's all you got to say about it. You show up for 90 minutes. You're not bored. It's not going to reset the bar or expand your IQ at all. But it was fun.
And since you now know all of the movies, would you? Where would you put this on a scale of Paul W.S. Anderson?
Mid-tier. Definitely mid-tier.
All right.
Yeah.
What's your bottom tier? Just real quick. One movie.
Soldier.
Resident Evil 5.
Nice. All right.
That was pure crap. Though I will say real quick that if you guys ever want to, Curioso in his filmography, watch his very first movie they did in '94 called Shopping, which was Jude Law's first feature role ever. It was during the indie explosion of '94 with Tarantino's Pulp Fiction and Kevin Smith's Clerks. And imagine the how do I put this?
What's it called again?
Shopping. Imagine the teenage and ennui of and hip, edgy soundtrack of Hackers mixed with the gritty urban angst of Train Spotting.
This sounds great.
And it has Jude Law, Sean Pertwee, Sean Bean, Jason Isaacs, just this whole litany of British actors that are really good in this out of nowhere random indie that Anderson wrote. And it was actually banned by the BBC in England because they didn't want to be inspiring teenage delinquents. And
too late.
Apparently New Line Cinema saw it and thought, we should get that guy to do Mortal Kombat. So
I will definitely
changed his whole career trajectory from there. But it's an interesting movie just to watch, just because
I can see him on this, but I never knew this existed.
Yeah.
What's at the top of your list, MJ?
Top of the list of a Paul W.S. Anderson involved project?
Yeah.
One where he doesn't direct.
I gotta get those two answers. The
Resident
one where he directs
Evil,
and the other one is
well, okay. As far as one that he directed, Alien vs. Predator, definitely. That movie does maybe gets a little too much hate, but it's definitely directing wise is probably his best. Writing wise, he had to team up with Russell Mulcahy, who directed the first two Highlanders, to do Resident Evil 3. And that's probably my favorite movie of his, where he's not
Highlander or Resident Evil 3?
Resident Evil 3. No, Anderson had nothing to do with the Highlander movies.
I would have gone with Event
2.
Horizon.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was all right.
I wonder if it hasn't aged well. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Wow.
Resident Evil 2 was my favorite of the Resident Evils, but that wasn't Paul Anderson.
That one is actually that one's the worst in my opinion.
The second one?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
It was just a train wreck of references to the games. That's all it was.
I will go to bat for that one.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of referential. I'm burnt out on meta comedy at this point.
Yeah. For me, it was the story, the action, over the top. All the characters mattered. Anyway, yes, Resident Evil 2.
All right.
Anyway.
All right, Doc.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have already kind of said how I feel about it. Look, it's like, I know it was really hard in the beginning, but it's a big, dumb, stupid action movie without not a lot going on under the hood. I agree with Keith. Why did it have to be an isekai? Why can't we just have a nice movie in the world of the video game? Why do we always have to get other things in? I guess it's for accessibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, turn off your think box. Like Void said, bring some drinks, have a good time. If you're a Monster Hunter fan of the video game, I think you have to watch it. It's required viewing. But yeah, that's about it.
That's why it was made. That's exactly why it was made.
Wait, I have one final question for everyone, which is now that you have seen this movie, if you have not played it, sorry. If you have not played it, would you play it now?
Yes.
Yes, for me.
Yeah, what they advertised in that movie did look like a lot of fun if I was actually playing it. Like item gathering, dodging.
I love a bow with elemental arrows.
All right. Then lastly, the final recommendations before we close up the show. My recommendation, I'm telegraphing the entire podcast, would be Into the Lost Lands.
Shocked that you would say that.
Yeah, like I throw around the word masterpiece too much, but I will do it again here because I actually thought it was like I would almost consider that his masterpiece. Like all of his other movies are have like dangling bits, like theme loops lost. They're a little too stupid here and too goofy there. Here, I just saw like scene for scene of things that always matter to the story. A final collection of payoffs that hit, and like you could see things coming, but like the execution at the end, right to the last scene, I was like, oh, what? That was fantastic. I loved it, and we should do a podcast on it someday so that I can hear how much you guys hate it, and then we can argue about it.
Did you see the twist coming, Keith?
A little bit. a little bit.
Okay,
But still,
I won't
like,
spoil. Yeah, I won't spoil it. But I was.
But the execution of it was still like fun and creative. I had to pay attention to get it. And
Are you gonna read the short story?
I loved every shot. It looks like a graphic novel come to life. It's just beautiful. And the short story is very short. And what's entertaining is the best dialogue in the film is actually pulled right from the short story.
That follows.
Was it all men are beasts?
Well,
Not all men are monsters.
that was the fact. That was the fact with Game of Thrones. You know, the other JR based thing where all the best lines were just lifted directly.
Yeah.
All right, Boy Cat, what would you recommend?
Well, if we're talking about stuff that has come out recently, I would recommend the Severance TV show.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's a vibe.
People who have listened to the other episodes I've been on know that I have a one-sided beef with J.J. Abrams, amongst reasons, because I hate what Lost did to the TV, sphere with like, we're just going to ask a bunch of questions with no plan. Severance clearly has a plan. And I appreciate that in a mystery. Like, it knows where it's going.
I completely disagree.
I know you disagree, and you're wrong, and I will tell you why another day. We don't have time for that.
Okay, yeah.
And if we're talking about, if you liked Monster Hunter and you need a recommendation for more of these kinds of movies, please watch the Riddick series. It's really, really just like to turn your brain off. Riddick is basically just Pitch Black again, but they're silly. It's about the action, and the world is fun. So.
I'll say that I feel real quickly. Severance has no plan whatsoever, and I still like it a lot. But we'll talk about that. I mean, we could do a Severance podcast.
Do you want to do a Severance episode? I'm there.
Yeah, that.
And I do have to give extra props to the set building and the camera, the camera direction in Severance. Good God.
Yeah, who knew Ben Stiller was such a decent, solid director now? I mean, my God, he directed pretty much all the episodes.
I'm actually not surprised. A lot of like comedic actors are kind of people expect less of them because a lot of comedy involves just like being as silly as possible, but like there's brains under there.
Well, I can't stand him. I can't stand his comedy or him as an actor, but yeah, his direction was amazing.
Yeah, I actually don't like Ben Stiller comedy either.
Do you see The Extreme Life of Walter Mitty?
Not yet.
Fantastic film.
Yeah, watch that and you'll see that he's always been capable of severancing.
I would recommend
the guy
Tropic Thunder.
I can't believe that Derek Zoolander.
All right.
Oh yeah. Stand target.
Yeah,
please.
Tropic Thunder is his best work.
All right, Steven, what would you recommend?
For what I'm watching now or what's out there?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm going to stick with Reacher. Reacher's got 3 seasons. Each one is pretty solid. I'm enjoying the character.
Track. I feel like there's been more than one. Who's playing the lead in the version that you're talking about?
Alan Richardson. He's playing Reacher in the Amazon series, and that's
okay. The Amazon Reacher.
Yep. Yeah, not the Tom Cruise Reacher. No.
There was another one with what's his face? Doesn't matter. Okay, please.
Hawkeye.
So, Amazon Reacher. That's my go-to right now. What I recommend.
All right, man. MJ.
The Studio on Apple TV. Full disclosure, I have never been a big Seth Rogen fan. His stoner comedy has always kind of turned me off, and that stupid laugh of his just is like fingernails on chalkboard. But then the guy comes around and starts producing The Boys, and then he comes off with The Studio now on Apple Plus, and just like the behind the scenes, the crazy, insane comedy life of a studio head and trying to rein in all the cats that's involved with that. It's actually been a really fun show to watch so far. They've only got 4 episodes out, and it's a 10-episode first season. And yeah, it's just been a lot of fun to watch, and the camera work in the show is amazing. And the writing's actually been semi-decent. I mean, there's been some predictable bits here and there, but it's actually a lot of fun to watch.
I wonder if that's a real shot of that rainbow.
That is from the first episode.
That's beautiful.
And also, real quick, I managed to plow through all 27 James Bond movies. I don't recommend doing that just because I got tired of. Everybody kept telling me I needed to watch him. You really don't, especially the Roger Moore's. So painful.
He's my
But,
favorite.
Well, thank you for going through that for all of us.
Yeah, no kidding. But I'm begging Amazon, don't make any more James Bond movies. Just let it be done. It's over.
Wait,
Let it go.
I just have to bring up this drama that happened. When Amazon first purchased MGM, I believe, part of the reason they got it is so that they would be able to do the James Bond movies, except that MGM doesn't actually have the rights to make the James Bond movies in the way that you would expect. They have the right to ask a certain woman if they can make a movie.
Barbara Broccoli, and they bought her out. Yeah.
She said no, and I was like, yes, ma'am. And she was like, those people are idiots, so I'm not giving them James Bond. And I was like, I respect, but then she crumbled. So
Yeah.
tragic.
Like, I'm getting old.
The only way they could possibly do James Bond at this point is do Mad Men with guns, and that's kind of trite and tired at this point. So just please let Bond die. He died in the last movie finally.
You know, and I know you know, but don't you know? Sorry, ever since the stuff with Marvel, we're now in the age of I have this one thing and I will make as many things enter the temple as possible because you guys love universes, right? So no, we're not getting out of it. I'm so sorry.
Sweet Jesus, if they do multiverse with Bond,
Yeah, I hear they want to do Moneypenny, the action series first.
Yeah, because you have to just make like 6 different.
Exactly.
It was a Q TV show. The Q movie.
Needs to die. Let it go.
There's going to be a movie starring his car that talks. And
I do truly believe that we will go back to doing like independent functions soon for many reasons. First of all, I don't know if you guys are paying attention to what's going on in the entertainment industry right now, but a lot of not great stuff is going on, and we're going to pull out with less studios than we had before. But I'm hoping it's going to lead to an indie boom because that's really what we need.
Yeah.
My hope is it empowers enough filmmakers that they go and just start doing their own thing and posting it on YouTube or wherever.
Yeah.
I think that is absolutely going to decimate Hollywood.
I hope so.
As soon as someone hits with a good 20-minute,
I've been seeing fans more and more.
Thundar the Barbarian.
The barrier to entry for making like a really good looking film, it's still high, but it's getting lower and lower every year.
Yeah,
quite a bit. Just as with editing, with prosumer like cameras and equipment and stuff like that. Now you can make stuff that looks really good. So we're getting there. It's going to happen.
Like a fan made a Star Wars anime, and it looks really good.
It looks so good.
Yeah. Matt,
so Doc, what do you got?
Doc.
Yeah. All right. So everybody watch Castlevania Nocturne, please. We need as many people watching that as possible so we get another season of it. I'm a huge fan of Castlevania in general. And just to see it up there and to see clearly they have so much love for the series and they're really doing it justice. And I always love the voice acting in all the Castlevania animations that they've been putting out recently. So yeah, Castlevania Nocturne is a big one. For a very, very non-nerdy thing, I watched Adolescence a few days ago, and I felt completely wrung out by the end of it. It's very emotional, and it takes a lot to get through it, but it's very well done. Yeah, and like the whole thing is done in one shot. Each episode is one shot. Very impressive.
It's a continuous take every episode.
Yes.
I saw the depths of cleverness they get to is like the cameraman walks up to a little girl. She goes into the bus takes off. They hand off the camera to a drone that goes up above the town and follows it down to the next scene. It was beautiful.
Okay, that is really cool, but let me ask you a question real quick. Are they actually continuous takes, or are they just cleverly like cut takes that make it look like a single take?
That's a good. That is a question.
They're both skilled things, just they're different skills.
The shot that I talked about, that was one shot. So like they are definitely doing it in some places, but I watched like a behind the scenes special effects and like
just for anyone at home, Birdman is not actually one long cut. Just
or 1917. Yeah,
I think they might be really doing it.
They are. I just looked it up.
Cool.
It was one entire shot. Also, and then just really quick, if I kind of like the idea of like giving a recommendation. If you liked Monster Hunter, check out Love and Monsters.
That's
a really fun flick, and it's about somebody fighting big monsters.
Cool.
Did you
Also,
watch the
I
film
enjoyed that
Hotel
one too.
Review?
I'd like to add that Castlevania has really cool villains. They do their villains well.
Oh,
It-
question about Castlevania. How does it stack up to Castlevania, the first one? Season?
Oh, you mean like the one with Richter and all that?
Yeah, because like that one hit so hard and was so astounding that I didn't want to give this one a chance because like I don't want to come back down from that high.
It, in my opinion, it started off a little bit weaker, but then really brought it home.
All right, I'll go back and check it out.
Definitely do. No, if you listen, it's Richter. Come on, get in.
It means I have to subscribe to Netflix again. Damn it!
So sorry.
It's really the new way to do streaming is to just like have it for 1 month, catch up on all the shows you were interested in the year, and then get rid of it again till next year.
Yeah, wait for a
'cause
good
I just
bundle.
canceled it. It's the first time in 12 years I don't have a Netflix account just because Cobra Kai finished up. I'm like, hell, that there's nothing else to watch.
All right, let's see. Ready to close this up?
Yep.
Let's get
All
to
right.
it.
DocFalconer, where can you find more of you on the internet?
You can just look on Instagram and Twitter, DocFalconer for both of those. And like I said, the last show, made a short film over the summer that should hopefully be coming to a short film festival near you over the summer. So more news on that soon.
Looking forward to it, man. MJ.
When I end my social media sabbatical at the end of the month, you can find me on Facebook, Insta, Threads, and Blue Sky as MJ3342, and that's EMJAY3342.
Right on. Steven, where can you find you on the internet?
I'm not on social media. You can find me on ArtStation. That's ArtStation /caravaggiosWolf. And if that's, Caravaggio's just the way Caravaggio spelled it.
You know the famous painter, that guy? Yeah.
Everyone knows.
Everybody.
Well, Keith, everyone who studied art history does, in fact, know.
It definitely wasn't me. I was not there in that class.
You
Boycat.
would recognize Caravaggio if we showed it to you. You'd be like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, it's like Darmok and Jalad, you know.
Exactly.
Boycat, where can you find more of you on the internet?
You can't. I have an Instagram. It's at VoidCatGaming, and I have a Blue Sky, and it's at VoidCatGaming, and I have a Twitch, and it's at VoidCatGaming, and I've been on neither for like a year. So, you can DM me if you want at any of those. I do check it, but I'm a ghost for now.
Cool. Social media sucks, so enjoy your life instead, I say.
I mean, I am on Tumblr, but I'm not giving you that one.
All right. And then
Wait, is Tumblr still around?
Tumblr is still around, and it's still just mostly like fandom shenanigans and the sort of thing that you don't put your real name on, which is why I'm not getting my Tumblr.
Don't make fun of me for my MySpace account.
A lot of MySpace accounts have been since deleted, by the way.
I know.
All right.
Sorry,
no problem. You can find me on Twitter.com. Twitter/x.com. You can find me on there, Keith Unlimited. Look that up. You can find me there. And then you can find this podcast and more on YouTube, which if you're watching this, you already see that. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon because I'm on YouTube. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy.
Gotta go. Freak time.